Shelby Oaks is written and directed by, for the first time ever in his directorial debut, Chris Stuckmann himself. Yes, the guy who's a YouTuber for many, many years. Now he's a first-time filmmaker, and this is his crowdfunded, passion project that he wanted to make. This film stars, well, basically, actors I've not heard before, but one of the actors' name is Camille Sullivan, who plays Mia in the film. It centers around her, who's trying to find her missing sister named Riley, and along the way that she starts to discover the mystery that her imaginary friend is real and not imaginative. So going into this film, there's a lot of interest going into this movie because this is his first directorial debut for Chris Stuckmann. So there's a lot of hype around this movie for many people, and for myself, I was very curious to see what Chris Stuckmann can do in his directorial debut. And from what I've seen, from what I've heard from many people, and of course I saw it myself last night on the 29th of October, so this is recorded on the 30th, so this video will be up on Halloween, tomorrow, the 31st of October. So I'm just going to give my initial thoughts on the film, and this is like my initial thoughts, my first impressions of the movie from him. And pleased to say, on a technical level, it is very well made, and I've got to applaud Chris Stuckmann. This is the very first film he's made, and he's very passionate about it, and there's a lot of care that goes into this film, despite some issues. We'll get to the negatives soon enough. There's still room to grow and some improvements that he could take away from in the near future in the film industry. But that being said, this is still a decent enough movie that I can take away from. Let's just start by saying the cinematography wise looks amazing. It looks terrific, and it just looks gorgeous to look at. Certain scenes, certain imagery, certain shots, it looks really cool to look at. I was jaw dropped how the directing from Chris Stuckmann was very well handled. He knows how to direct some good scenes in certain aspects, and for majority of the film, the scare factor and the shock values are in the film, and it's not afraid to show blood, and Chris Stuckmann goes with it. He doesn't shy away from it, and there were a couple of times a little bit editing, there were a couple of shots there, but that's mostly a nitpick. But the way they showed the blood, it didn't not fade away from it. So this is not a generic slasher film. It's a very bloody, horrifying scenes in here, so at least that's something you could take away from. And the lighting of the film, the sound mixing, everything above, top notch. So there's something you can take away that is, and the performance, all great. Camille Sullivan as Mia, she was really good. She's terrific. She's basically the main focus of the character. The rest of the cast, did their best. I think they're all good. They're all good what they're given. But Mia's the main focus of the character, trying to find her sister Riley, and she does try to go find her, try to find her sister, based on her film footage, which is basically what they use. Filming the modern day film they use in cameras is in the film for throughout, but as far as the technical side with the whole retro film footage from these old video cameras that he used, and of course, Chris Stuckmann did a little bit of his homework, and he's very vocal about it in the past reviews he did in terms of his movies. And of course, you do get some YouTube-style old videos that is loaded up to YouTube, like old classic, how YouTube looked, which I actually impressed what he did with it. It was absolutely amazing. And of course, a little cameo from his wife, and of course, his two kids are in the film, which if you blink and miss it, the moment you see it, you kind of go, oh, that's Chris Stuckmann's wife, Samantha. The moment you saw it, I remember going, oh, that's her, and that's his kids, oh. And there's a good tension behind it, and it has an interesting story. I was kind of engaged a little bit. It definitely got me engaged. Like, the first half of it was really good, and of course, mostly throughout, I was engaged. I was kind of interested to see where the story revives. And this is an hour and 31-minute movie. It did not drag. It just went in. The moment the story kicks in, after that, still stock footage, and also where the story goes, and then after that it just jumps right into the story. It doesn't waste any time, it doesn't do anything dumb, it doesn't drag out a few things, it just gets to the point of the story. That said, despite all the good things about this film, there are some negatives. While the story is there, I like the interesting concept of the film, but I found it to be very, very well, it is predictable, it is easy to follow, I can see where things are going. I found it kind of hard to the characters to relate to, because characters don't get much development like Mia, which I wish they could have done a little more development, because there is a good interest in her for a character, but it didn't do much, because throughout they just try to look for her sister Riley, which I kind of felt like, that's kind of lacking in a certain area, which I don't know if Chris Stuckmann's right, but maybe it's just his wife, because his wife Samantha was involved in the story process with Chris Stuckmann to help him to tell that story. It kind of felt like it was just could have a little bit more meat to the bone or something, because there is meat in there, but it's not a big giant layer of meat. It just felt like when you have the meat, the more you take it, all you have is the bone, and that's kind of lacking in substance. Well, there is a good style to it, but it felt like the substance could have added a little bit more to it, which I think it could have a lot better in terms of the horror genre, which I like the mystery behind it, but it didn't feel like there's not much meat to it. And of course, I heard from other discussions from other people who are saying, like, over the internet, especially when Chris Stuckmann took inspiration, which taking inspiration from certain movies is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you can take inspiration, but you still put your own spin to it, but you still make it, you could maybe take some elements from it, but still put your own style or put your own take on it. But there were a couple of times it kind of felt like it's following the same certain movies, like the Blair Witch Project and Hereditary, I think that's the film's called. I haven't seen neither of them, but I've heard they're pretty decent. Well, I need to check them out at some point. I'll watch them when I get around to them. And of course, certain dialogue and certain characters where they say stuff like, no, it's not dialogue is bad, it's just when they keep trying to tell audiences, like, instead of showing to us, because it's just, the characters have to say something instead of saying. It doesn't give you much time to say, okay, movie, I know, but just show us, don't tell us. Kind of like every other movie, they tried to shove information down our throats, which is not a bad thing. I get you want to tell your audience like what's going on, but I felt like it was just tries too hard to say, keep on telling us about even showing us. Okay, that's fair enough, but again, that's just another nitpick. And again, like I said, the acting is solid. It is well acted, but there are a couple of actors do overdo it now and again, but that's mostly to the side. As far as the ending goes, a little nitpicky for the ending. I don't know if it's a nitpick or a negative, but the way the film ends, it felt like it's kind of left more questions than answers. I feel like it's opened more questions. Maybe it's something for our audience to open up their imaginations at the end of the film. They may have a discussion about it. Maybe a spoiler discussion, or maybe a commentary, or maybe a group chat on live streams. Who knows? Anything's possible, but that's just me personally. Shelby Oaks, for what it is, for Chris Stuckmann's first directorial debut as from YouTuber, film critic to now a filmmaker, this is a solid enough movie. It's really entertaining. It does keep you engaged throughout. It could have been better with more of the story and, try to get character focused now and again, but it felt like there's a lack of substance. And of course, I wish the ending could have done a little bit more better. Maybe they could have more explaining, or maybe it could have shown, not more telling. But that being said, it is well made from a technical side, and I do applaud Chris Stuckmann for his director debut, and I wish him all the best. And I do think he has the potential to improve in the next films. Maybe he'll take some of the criticisms. I think he's open to criticism. I'm sure he will. And maybe he'll go, okay, maybe I'll prove that on the next time. Pleased to say, Chris Stuckmann, if you're watching this, I will say, good job, dude. Well done. I'm proud of you. Whatever you're doing next, I'm happy to see more from you. And I wish you all the best in the film industry. I'm going to give Shelby Oaks a solid B. Guys, comment down below. Have you seen Shelby Oaks? What's your thoughts on it? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you think it's all right? Or do you absolutely hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below and tell me what you think. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, see ya.